Okay, let's see who's here. Is there anybody out there? Help me sing my song. Hello, hello. Turn your radio on. Is there anybody out there? Help me sing my song. Hello, hello. Turn your radio on. Is there anybody out there? Help me sing my song. Okay. Right, so I'm just doing one of these random pop-up chats. I think I did one last Saturday. I think I've done one the previous week, and we'll just wait for someone to pop up. If you're there, announce yourself. Oh, here they come. Ask and you will receive. Martin Fitzgerald, good evening from Jakarta, Vaughn. Hello Martin, it's afternoon, so you must be, whereabout are you from? Alexander, hello brother. Alexander, working Saturday for me. Oh, I see. I guess I'm not the only one. Mr. Larson, you are always there for me, brother. I'm going to see you on that live stream tomorrow, aren't we, Anders? You've been asking about that vinyl for a long time. So today's Saturday the 5th of December 2020, and yeah, what a year it's been. We're just winding the year down. We've got a virus vaccine apparently now, so hopefully things can start getting back to normal. I think this has been a very difficult year for a lot of people. Yeah, Anders, I'm sure you're going to be there tomorrow. Alexander, you need to install Zoom. Yeah, Zoom is I will always remember Zoom as the year 2020 is kind of the year that made Zoom really popular. Up until this time all we had was Skype, but Zoom is a lot better. Martin Fitzgerald, hello to you, sir. Ditch Queen, hello. Happy Saturday. Hello again, Ditch Queen. I forgot your real name. 586101, cheers Vaughn. Hello to you. How is everyone today? Oh. I always like to start off with a banana. It kind of pays homage to Fletch. Okay, so this is not going to be a 4-hour live stream like the first one was. Well, I had one last week, and when I came on I said the same thing, and it was 3 hours and 57 minutes. So it was 4 hours. The previous one was 4 hours as well. I'm just going to wait for a few more to come on. Really what this is all is to just bring awareness to this live chat I'm doing with Gareth Jones tomorrow. The links for that live chat are in the description below, and we're going to talk a little bit about that, and you can ask me some questions as always. Trying to stay warm and sunny in Florida. I was trying to stay warm in sunny Florida. Well, I feel so sorry for you there. Anders, you say you'll be there unless your oscillators break down. Man, you are such a geek. I love you, man. Martin Fitzgerald, wonderful. How about yourself? Yeah, everything's good. Yeah, thank you, Martin. Charles Taylor says, hello and happy holidays from Houston, Texas. Huge Depeche Mode fan since Black Celebration. Thanks for the stories and updates regarding the group. Thumbs up and salutes. Well, I sent salutes and thumbs up straight back to you, Charles. Alexander says, if I don't come to the meeting, please ask him about acoustic version of Love in Itself. How and why they did not do more of it. I don't think I know that one, actually. It's a bit chilly in Florida today. I mean, what does that mean? You've still probably got sunshine. Hello, my Russian friend's back. Privet Vaughn. Right, so where are we? Right, anytime off a Depeche Mode concert. Oh, don't ask me. I'm not the expert in Depeche Mode, I'm just a guy who talks about it. People often always ask me as if though I've got like, as if though I'm friends with them and I can phone them up and say, hey, Martin, when's the next concert? No, I'm not on that level. Ditch Queen, my name is Laura, that's right. What is Alan Wilder? What is Alan Wilder? Oh, it always turns into a Depeche Mode discussion. I have been so typecast as Depeche Mode, my own fault. Laura, you say, what is Alan Wilder doing these days? I'm thinking about joining a Depeche Mode Facebook group to ask people. Well, you should join my group on Facebook, and there's also one called Depeche Mode Global. And if we don't know, then I doubt anyone else will either. I know Alan is living in his mansion in Sussex and enjoying being a father. Love in Itself. Come on, Vaughn. Yeah, I haven't heard the acoustic version of that. Alan is dissolving in space and time for the last 10 years or so. Yeah, I think he's going to make like a dramatic comeback one day. Right, let me just finish this banana, guys. What's my second best group after Depeche Mode? I don't know. I suppose if I was younger I could be able to tell you, but I don't really have favourites and second favourites, and I've got my favourite bands that I listen to, but I don't sort of rank them in order of importance, although I probably did when I was a lot younger. You say New Order is your second favourite. Okay, I can see that. A lot of New Order fans on the group, yeah. Okay guys, so obviously these live streams get recorded and then they get uploaded into YouTube again. So you're going to hear me repeat this throughout the duration of this live stream. Obviously tomorrow I'm very excited about this. No one's ever done this before, and I don't mean that in an egotistical way, but this hasn't been done before. Gareth Jones is going to be here on the channel answering your questions. So if you want to take part in that, it's going to be a Zoom chat. Look in the description below this video, you will see all the login details there. Now we can only take 100 participants. I do have a professional Zoom account, but I think the professional one allows you up to 100 participants, and then I think you can pay a little bit more to get a bigger audience. However, I do think that 100 is a lot to handle. I'm going to have Rob Rom from Depeche Mode Facebook, Rob Rom from Depeche Mode Global Facebook page, yeah, Facebook group, sorry. He's going to be a co-host, so he's going to sort of help me moderate the discussion. So Gareth will be here, and you can ask him any questions you want to ask him about anything. I'm sure you guys have got lots of questions you want to ask him. And remember, he didn't just do Depeche Mode, although I think that's probably one of the bands he's most famous for. So you can ask him anything. He's going to be here for 2 hours, but we're also going to use this as an opportunity to promote his Electrogenetic album, which was released digitally on the 18th of September. And the whole idea behind this live chat is, you know, he's going to come on, he's showing respect to the fans by answering some questions, and we have started a Indiegogo crowdfunding for the vinyl pressings. So basically what that is you can pre-order a vinyl. It's to pay for the vinyls. Now the way this goes is my label Agro Monkey Records is going to get behind this, but we don't want to print like a whole lot of vinyls and not sell them, and that's not to say that I don't have faith in Gareth's album. It's just that the way Gareth and I decided to do it was basically just to let's throw it out to you guys, because, you know, I think that is why this channel is successful, and it's because of you guys, and, you know, the feedback and the interaction and the support I get from you. It's an interaction thing, and I think this is what's made the channel so different to a lot of other channels, is that I don't sort of delegate what we're going to talk about. I always ask you guys for subjects, and then I will always tailor my content based on requests that you have given me. So in line with that same mindset, I think it is quite nice to... Oh, I'll read some of the comments now. Just going to finish my monologue. So in line with this channel's mission, I think it is nice if we're going to print a vinyl to throw it out to you guys and just say, look, would you like Gareth Jones's vinyl, Gareth Jones's record on vinyl? And if there's enough interest, we will go ahead and press the vinyls. If you pledge and we do not reach our target, your money is safe, you'll get refunded. So don't worry about losing your money. But I'm hoping that there will be a lot of interest, because, you know, I think Gareth deserves, you know, a lot of respect for the great work he's done. I mean, Gareth is very modest. He'll always say that, you know, it was Depeche Mode that, you know, with the geniuses behind it. And then I've had to say to Gareth, well, yes and no, but it is the producer, in my opinion, that is probably just as important as the music, because if the music's not produced and presented in a appealing way, yeah, a good producer is the difference between success and failure. I think we talk about that a lot on this channel. Right, let's have a look here. So I'm going to be sort of elaborating on that every now and then throughout this chat, and I hope you guys can make it. You know, you can. Actually, I'll put the question out now. If you're thinking of joining tomorrow, just let me know in the comments. But yeah, just say yes or no or maybe. It'll be interesting to see how many of you are looking to join in. Well, let's take a question here. Dragonus Sounds. Do you know American synth pop group Cause and Effect? Yes, I do. I've heard some of it. Very good. Martin Fitzgerald says, sounds brilliant. Thank you, Martin. I'm trusting you'll join in on the chat as well. Charles, Charles again. Charles Taylor, happy holidays and season's greetings to everyone in the United Kingdom from Houston, Texas, USA. Be careful and be safe. God bless. Depeche Mode #1. That's great. Thank you, mate. Isidore says, I can't read vinyl, so that's fine. It's not for everyone. I think, you know, vinyl is coming back now, and it's just really for me. I'd like Gareth's album on vinyl, and he'd like it on vinyl, but that's up to you guys. If there's enough interest, we'll print them. If there isn't, we won't press them. So hi guys from Russia. Hello to you, my friend. 586101 says you may be up for tomorrow. Okay. Martin Fitzgerald, worried about the timing. Isidore, can we ask Depeche Mode questions? Absolutely, you can ask Depeche Mode questions. I need to quickly run off. I need to grab my charger, because this computer is about to crash. So give me a second. just going to plug this in. Oh, there we go. Sorry about that. There we go. Otherwise, it would have just cut out. It would have just stopped. Right, where were we? Yes, Isidore said, can we ask Depeche Mode questions? You absolutely can ask Depeche Mode questions. It comes back to when I first reached out to Gareth last year for an interview. He declined the interview, as you know, because he said he's spoken, he's covered Depeche Mode to death in interviews. And as I say, when you interview someone, you need to sort of look at what's in it for them. And this is why it's so difficult for me to approach Alan Wilder at this stage, because, hi Alan, I'm sure you've seen my videos, kind of an interview. And it's like, he may or he may not, but it would have been easier 10 years ago when he still had the Recoil project. But never say never, guys. So coming back to Gareth, yes, this is the whole idea for him coming onto this live chat tomorrow. It's to show respect to you, the Depeche Mode fans, or any work of his that you're a fan on. But fundamentally, I think most of you are Depeche Mode fans, or Gareth fan. Most of you are a Gareth fan because of Depeche Mode. So by all means, that is why he's here tomorrow, to ask any questions you want to ask him about anything, his career, any geeky stuff, anything about Depeche Mode. I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of Depeche Mode questions. And then at the same time, we're going to use this as a vehicle to promote the album, and we're going to be very open up and upfront about that. We're not going to sort of be like sneakily trying to promote his album. We are out here to promote his album, and to show respect to you guys, the community. Gareth is here to answer some questions, and hopefully it won't be the first and last time. So I'm happy to see that most people we've got onto this channel, like Brian and a few others, come back for a regular slot, and I'm very proud about that, because it shows I haven't pissed them off. So fingers crossed. Right, let's see what you guys are saying here. Tobite says, hello there, guys. Hello to you. Alexander says, ask him about Sushi and the Banshees. I think, yeah, and Daniel Miller. Yeah, well, Alexander, come on tomorrow yourself if you want to. As I say, it's going to be 7 p.m. tomorrow. That's 7 p.m. UK time. And all I can say is get on there early, because we're going to let the first 100 in, and then after 100, we can only allow 100 in. If you can't make it in, it's going to be live streamed onto YouTube at the same time. And then I will try, I'm not promising, I will try and take some questions from YouTube as well. But you can imagine we will have our hands will be full tomorrow. Martin Fitzgerald, how did you get interested in music? Well, Martin, I think everyone loves music. It just takes a particular nudge to make you to want to become involved in music. And I've told you guys on this channel, I've always loved music. I mean, most people do, but it wasn't until I heard Enjoy the Silence the very first time that changed everything for me. It just ignited everything in me. And when I heard Enjoy the Silence, that just spawned like a butterfly effect, and everything I have done and everywhere I am now can be traced back to that moment when I first heard Enjoy the Silence. 586101 says, I would be interested in hearing Gareth speak about his work with Wire, Erasure and Clinic. Yes, he did a lot of the Erasure albums. He's involved with a lot of Erasure albums. In fact, I think even the albums that he didn't produce, he would do a lot of the vocal recording for Andy Bell. And yeah, I'm hoping to if Gareth can put a good word in, you know, to Andy Bell and to Daniel Miller, hopefully, then I don't see any reason why they would not want to be interviewed for the channel. So I never assume, but my enthusiasm and intentions are high, you know. Right. Kevin Stock, hello from New York. Hello, my friend. You're up early? Yeah? You guys are about 6 hours behind us now, so what's that one? Oh, okay, you're not up that early, I suppose. Black Energy Keeper, hello to you. Tobite, is there a Depeche Mode song that really inspired you for your song My Angel? It's funny you should say that, because I'm just busy working on my new single, which is called Sleeping Dogs, and I was laying down the guitar on that yesterday and the day before, so I finished that. I've got to go lay the vocals down. My music, my personal music that I do, I don't think it's, I mean, when you listen to it, it's clear to hear who my influences are, but I do believe that it is still very individually Vaughn. It's very individually me. So that song was kind of like, you know, what inspired it. I mean, it has a meaning to me, but you know, when I produce something, I don't sort of copy something. It's just I just let it come manifest the way it wants to, and of course, a lot of people can draw comparisons in that. I know that a lot of people have compared it to Depeche Mode's In Your Room. Yeah, I should be so lucky that it should sound anywhere near as good as that, but I suppose you can hear the atmosphere in that track is very similar. Allegra Cramp says, I hope you're well. Yes, I am. Thank you. I hope you're well too. Dragner Sounds. Vaughn, what was your most disappointing moment to listen to a new album from whom and expected? What? What was my most disappointing? Well, I mean, there's been a few, but we won't get into this now. But Depeche Mode's latest album, Spirit, was very disappointing to me. If we're talking about Depeche Mode. Merge Music and Film says, Goeiedag minder. He's going, Goeiedag minder. I think he's trying to say Goeiedag meneer, which means good day, sir. Jou grootste fan. You're using Google Translate, aren't you? And you're talking Afrikaans. You're saying, a big fan from East Sussex. How about your own written music? Yeah. I do my own music. I just I've got the Vorti brand, and I've got other things as well. But with this channel taking up so much of my time, I haven't been able to release much of my music. But I can promise you, a Vorti album is scheduled for next year. It's a 12-track album. It's called The Yearning, and that is why when I released My Angel is the first single to promote this album, but that came out in the beginning of this year, so my timing's a bit off. So the next single, Sleeping Dogs, will be coming out very soon, so keep following. Alexander says, I was inspired by In Your Room. Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's very difficult because, yeah, I can see it there. But you know, you will listen to some of my songs and you'll go, oh, you were influenced by Pet Shop Boys there or something, you know. So we as artists become the sum of everything that we're influenced by. I mean, even some people commented on that song. There's the My Angel. They said, someone said, you sound like Andy Bell singing with Alan Wilder production. So I mean, that was flattering in both ways. But you know, I don't want to sound like Andy Bell, and I don't want to sound like Alan Wilder. I want to sound like me, you know. But it's flattering. You know, they didn't say I sounded like Westlife, so that was good. Where can I hear this track, mate? Oh, you see, that just shows how bad I am at promoting myself. Just go into Google or YouTube and type in Vorti. That's naughty, like you know when you're naughty, but instead with an N, it's with a V. So Vorti, Vaughty, Vorti, my angel. You can find it there. That was my nickname in school because I was naughty. So when I was younger, they called me Naughty Vorti. Naughty. So anyway, so when I was coming up with a name for my original music, I just thought, why not? No one's going to have that name, and a lot of people won't be able to spell it either. So anyway, have you ever performed live? Yes, I have. I have performed live. I used to do my first performance live was in the late 90s when I released my first album in 1996, and that album was called 2021. Funny enough, which is 2021 is next year. So I'll show you that that album sometime, and it's a very it's a dance instrumental album, based on sort of Robert Miles' Dream Trance, and also influenced by a lot of the hardcore underground rave producers and DJs of the time. It's a really mishmash album, and actually I should do a few videos on that. It was produced on a KYK4, a Roland JV80, a Roland E16, and a Roland U20. Anyway, that'll be a fascinating. I'm so old now, and I've done so many things. I sometimes go, oh, I forgot about that. I should talk about that. So yeah, I haven't spoken much about myself on this channel. That is why my life remains quite a secret. And the irony is, when you don't speak about yourself, that's when people want to know about you. So, but I will always keep my attention focused on the content and you guys. But thank you for asking. So to answer your question, yes, I have performed live. I've sessioned with bands. I've played in piano bars. I've done covers. I've never performed as Vorti, but I hope to do that if there is enough interest. Ditch Queen, I love the Gregorian chants in Gareth's Trinity. Ah, now that's interesting. You know, Ditch Queen, the way he did that was, he was in a church one day. He just went to a church, and he had a handheld recorder, and there was a choir in this church that were rehearsing, and he recorded them. You know, and then when he took that back to the studio, I mean, he did this a couple of years ago, and this, when he was producing his album, he wanted this kind of Gregorian chanting. So what he did was he went back to that handheld recorder and took the recording, and he kind of chopped it up and mashed it up and pitch sampled it, and those are the voices that made it the way onto the album. So it wasn't a choir that he got in, and it wasn't a sample. And also the piano that Gareth uses on his Electrogenetic album is actually the piano that was in his living room since he was a kid. He went home and sampled it one day. He sampled every single note, and he's actually played that sample on the record, and that is why this record is so personal to him. Right, Cheryl Morris, love a bit of late 90s dance music. Cheryl, who doesn't love a little bit of 90s dance music? I think the 90s really defined pop music, dance music, in such a profound way that if you listen to the way dance music is produced these days, like if you look at the old Korg M1 piano sound, it's like when you're going to do a dance track and you're going to have a dance piano, it has to be the Korg M1 sound from 1989. It cannot be something modern, because the 90s really laid the foundation to what dance music is. And I'm not a huge fan of dance music anymore, probably because I used to do it for many years, and I'll play you guys some of my records. But yeah, I'm on a different trip now. But maybe I'm getting older as well, but I just think dance music I just don't feel dance music generally is as inspired as it was in the 90s. God, it was amazing. I agree with you, Cheryl. Yeah, I love a bit of 90s dance, and I think even the younger generation, you know, I have a lot of teenagers in my group, and those that I coach, those with good taste. They will always say, yeah, there's something magical about the 90s, 80s, you know, I was these German girls I was having a chat with the other day for a school project. They reached out to me and asked me if I could answer some questions, and I think they're about grade 10, so that makes them about 15 or 16. And the one of them is a huge Depeche Mode fan, and I was blown away by her knowledge of Depeche Mode. And she was saying that the people at school think she's weird because she likes Depeche Mode, and I thought, well, welcome to my world. But people thought I was mad when I was 16 and I liked Depeche Mode. Fast forward a few years, quite a few years, I still love Depeche Mode, and people still think I'm weird, except for all of you, because you are all just as weird, and that's why we're here. That's why you're welcome here. Martin Fitzgerald, so old. Well, that's, yeah. This is a wig. Black Energy Keeper. Your take on why Depeche Mode is a lot more popular in Germany back in the day than in the UK? Well, that's interesting. You know, when I released dance music back in the late 90s, my dad always said to me, when you go to the UK, Vaughn, he said, get your music out to Germany, because the Germans have got much better taste than the Brits. This is what my dad said. And I think Germans have always just been, I think when it comes to electronic music, it's Germany. You know, the UK had a profound influence on electronic music, but it started, you know, we always think of Kraftwerk and Germany being the sort of origins of it. But Germany just seems to be a lot more receptive to it. Make no mistake, there is a huge hardcore electronic music fan here in the movement here in the UK. But yeah, strange, this country. It's a more sort of, the music taste is more, I don't know, it's just a bit, it's the sort of general music here, the sort of, it's just not my thing. I've always had one foot in the underground, and I just don't like the whole, I don't know, just the whole UK music thing. I'm not a huge fan. Merge Music, thank you so much. Thank you very much. You've just bought me a drink. I really appreciate that. Blasting through, you're playing you're playing My Angel through your monitors, and you're going, fuck this moi, which means fucking hell, it's beautiful. Thank you. Yeah, Merge Music and Film, thank you so much for that. Great work. Hits the like. Thank you. Thank you. You know, it's, I'll be honest with you, when I release my own music, I used to release music quite frequently, but since I started with the channel, it was a little bit more difficult because, you know, the channel started taking up a lot of my time. But also, there's a lot more pressure on me when I release music now, because there's an element of people going, this better be good, kind of thing, you know what I mean? But coming back to what our friend Gareth Jones always says, he said, Vaughn, our job is not to judge it. Our job is to make it and to get it out. Thank you so much for your drink, your donation. I really appreciate that. Dragoness Sound said, Vaughn, did you ever get in touch with the gothic scene, or did you wear leather boots in your teenage years? Well, you know, I had a very conservative family. So I think I was always into kind of dressing up and maybe wearing guy liner and things like that, but the town I came from, if I did that, I probably would have got beaten up, and my parents would have taken me to the church to perform an exorcism on me, because they would have thought I was turning too much to the dark side. No, I did wear, I never wore kinky leather boots as in Martin Gore style, no, but I did wear Doc Martens, if you should know. Ditch Queen, oh boy, 2 Unlimited, Culture Beat, U96, Hadaway. Love, 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 love sees no color. What is love? Baby, don't hurt me no more. Culture Beat. Yeah, I mean, the 90s was so great. The channel is meant to, it's meant to do many things, this channel, but 90s dance is a big series I want to bring in, because it is electronic music, and I think that'll be a very interesting segment to bring to the channel. Once again, Merge Music, thank you so much for buying me a drink. I really appreciate that. Murray Nathan, hello to you, sir. You had some very, very good input last week. What are you saying today? Oh, you're all coming on here. Where did you go, Murray? Oh, there you are. Depeche Mode is a band. I thought we were discussing a French fashion magazine. Ah. Yeah, I mean, I've spoken to French friends of mine, and when I say, what does Depeche Mode mean? And they go, it is the band. I mean, no. What does Depeche Mode? Does it mean fast fashion? And they go, and every French person I've spoken to has given me a different interpretation. Or so the word Depeche Mode doesn't actually mean fast fashion. It means yeah, of course it means something to do with fashion, but mode means fashion. Depeche, I don't know what that means, but yeah, it's not as simplistic as fast fashion. Every French person I've spoken to has given it a different interpretation or a different definition. Right, let's have a look. Okay, I think I've read that one. Yeah, I think I went on a tangent, Black Energy Keeper, when I was talking about Germany. When you asked my question about Germany. Germany's just been very, very receptive to electronic music. And when I interviewed Mesh, Rich Silverthorne and Mark Hockings, check out that video with Mesh. It's in my video. You'll find it in my list of my previous videos. They were talking. Mesh are another example where they're massively popular in Germany, and in the UK they're popular, but they're not like, when they go to Germany they can really fill up huge venues. So, and they also talk about how when you go gigging in Germany, how it's so much better. I think artists, I don't know, if you're German, maybe you can answer me this, because there's this thing with humans, we always think the grass is greener on the other side, but I just get the feeling that in Germany you guys kind of respect your artists more. In the UK, yeah, it's very sort of like, what do you do? And you go, if someone says they're an artist, and they go, what do you really do? You know what I mean? So bearing in mind, that's very insulting, because the arts industry is huge. And yeah, but anyway, Germany is the place for electronic music, as far as I'm concerned. Allegra Cramp says, I'm so envious of Gareth Jones' time in Berlin during the golden era. I hope you'll talk about it. Well, if you're on that call, he'll be happy to talk about that. And that was an amazing time. I think of when I speak to Brian Griffin about that time, how he could go to Switzerland and go up a mountain to film to make an album cover. I mean, that just wouldn't happen these days. If you were a photographer for you, even if it was a huge artist like Lady Gaga or something, if you as the photographer said, I want to fly to Switzerland to go up the Alps and shoot a cover, they might go, can't you just do it in a studio with a green screen? The budgets just don't exist anymore. And I think those days, when we talk about the Berlin trilogy, Construction Time Again, Some Great Reward, and Black Celebration, that was a really magical time. And Gareth also talks about how studio time, he was never, there were never sort of budget constraints put on him. And Brian said this as well. It was kind of like he was in the studio, and it's like they would take as long as it needed to finish the record. And with Brian as well, it was like however much money they needed to do the album cover, the money was available. And wouldn't that be nice? Just our friends Martin Fletch, Dave, Alan, Vince, they were really at the right place at the right time. And well, their talent's got a lot to do with it as well. But Timing and contact do help a lot. Right, let's have a look here. Anders Larson says he still uses the JV1080. You know, Anders, I always said there's something about the sort of you're the sort of the JV series from Roland, and then you have the XV series, and then they went into their Phantom X's, and then you've got like this, like the Integra now, which has got their supernatural sound. So I mean, this Integra is kind of like a Roland's greatest hits. It's got all the sounds from the XV5080, the 2080s, the Phantoms, but there is something good about the Roland sounds. Is that they always tend to sit into a mix really nicely. I'm talking about those JV sound modules, you know, and the XV5080, the 3080. There's something about the sounds in there that, you know, when you added them to a mix, they didn't require much processing, and I don't know. That's just something I've noticed, and also I notice on the when I do a lot of acoustic piano here, if I'm just singing, I love the piano sounds in my Kawai MP7 SE. I mean, this is a flagship Kawai. So if it's just, and this is the piano sound I use on my videos, you know, when I do my album review series, and it's beautiful, and people have commented on how great the sound is. And I'm just like, I'm not doing anything, guys. I'm just plugging it into the, you know, that is the sound you're hearing. But I find that when I'm doing a record, like when I did my Sleeping Dogs record now, which has got piano in it, as beautiful as what the Kawai piano sound is, I found that the supernatural grand on the Integra actually cuts through the mix better. Now in isolation it's still a beautiful sound. It has a different character, probably a more forward sound and a less mellow. I mean the Akai's got a more mellow sound, but when I'm doing like acoustic stuff, like on the videos, I always use the Akai piano sound. And I'm going on a tangent now, but the Roland XV and the JV sounds, there's something magical about how they could just put them into a mix and they just pop out, and it's something other manufacturers were quite envious of. I have read this on forums though, where a lot of people have said the same thing. Alexander says it's good to be inspired and apply that to your work. Even the most original brands like Depeche Mode never covered their influence like. Oh, I see what you're saying. You're talking about the influence of, yeah, of my my song. Yeah, I mean, when you're an artist, you are you become a kind of like a melting pot, and all your inspiration. You are the sum of all the people that you're influenced by. Martin Fitzgerald, am 58 and love synth metal and punk. Well, what's not to love about it? Right, Tobite says, I'm 18 and I'm also a huge fan when it comes to Kraftwerk and Depeche Mode. The other pupils in school also think that I'm weird since I kinda like dressing like Martin. Well, good for you, man. You're ahead of your time. You're ahead of your time, and yeah, I was having a bit of a rant the other day. I try not to rant on my channel that much, but I do have rants sort of behind the scenes. I rant on my Patreon page. If you want to join, you can see me ranting. I was talking about how where are all the idols these days? You know, now I sound like a real old man, but just think of Freddie Mercury, David Bowie, Prince, Michael Jackson, those massive artists. We just don't have them anymore, do we? And that's not to say we don't have the talent, or maybe it's just the way times have changed. And this is actually a fascinating subject for a video, I think, is like, where are those massive artists? And I'm talking like Freddie Mercury, as I say, Bowie, Michael Jackson, Prince, you know, those massive artists. We just don't seem to have that anymore. Right, let's have a look here. Alexander says, German schoolgirls. I like that. You're responding to an early comment. You're saying, German schoolgirls, school project, oh, you naughty Vorty. You said Vaunty. It's Vorty, not Vaunty. Right. Oh, questions coming in a bit faster now. Murray Nathan, instead of Where's the Revolution, I thought Depeche Mode should have gone the other way with a song like The Zombies' Time of the Season, or cover it. Martin doing the opening breathy sounds would sound good. Yeah, I mean, I spoke already on, Murray, you're right. I spoke already on my previous live chat, live stream here about Where's the Revolution, how that song, the record's not, like, the record's not badly produced. There's no criticisms there at all. It's just like Spirit just never did it for me. It was a very disappointing record, and hearing Where's the Revolution live, it just didn't have the impact that I felt. Or I don't think the best way to gauge how popular a song is, really, is when you go to a concert and just watch the audience reaction. When I was at the Olympic Park here in 2017, it was a great show. It was a very, very great show. In fact, it was a better show than the one that they recorded for the Live Spirits concert. In fact, I wish they'd used the footage from this show, yeah, because it was phenomenal. But audience reaction on songs like Where's the Revolution and I mean, Cover Me got a very good reaction. I mean, the ending of Cover Me is great. And I loved that intro with those. I get goose flesh. I mean, when those little legs in the beginning. I mean, Cover Me, yeah, just it was great. And I'm always critical about the live drumming, but Cover Me, I'll bow down to Christian when it comes to that song. No, he did it. It just works well with the live drumming. Must not talk about the live drumming anymore. Must not go down rabbit hole. But you're right, Murray. I think, yeah, I would have liked to have seen something like that, a bit more subtle. Dean Henderson, Live and Joy's Dreamer, the keyboard when the chorus comes in is the best keyboard sound for the 90s dance song. Yes. Yes. Dragon Sounds, exists any photos? Are you asking photos of me performing live? I've got some very embarrassing ones that I might want to, I remember in the late 90s when when I used to go up and do my live dance music shows. I was strange because I'd show up at clubs, but I would show up at nightclubs, but I wouldn't show up with CDs and vinyls. I'd show up with keyboards and and lights and everything, and I used to go by the name of, wait for it, In Unison. It seemed like a good idea at the time. And I've got some photos. My wardrobe was basically like bicycle shorts, like shimmery waistcoat, makeup, and trainers. I had quite a big gay following at the time. I was quite pretty when I was younger. I mean, look at me now. Right. Tobite, didn't Martin say in an interview that he was pretty proud of the Spirit track Scum? Is it likely that the next album will sound like a... yeah, Scum... Hey Scum! That song got criticized by a lot of people. That is actually one of my... To me, it's one of the most... it's one of my favorite songs from the album. I did like the kind of erratic madness to it. And in my album review series, I always ask the question, I ask the 5 questions at the end. And the first question I always ask is, if you're to lose a song from the album, which would it be? And then I ask the next question is, what's the most radical song? I ask my 5 questions. And you'll notice that on every Depeche Mode album, there's always one song that's like really off the wall and radical. If I think back to the first album, Spick and Spell, the most radical song is Big Muff. And then the second album, what was it? A Broken Frame. The most radical song is Boom, when the site was found, we laid the foundation. Monument. So every album, they always throw in one song that is really like off the wall and radical, where it's clear that the goal of the song is to sort of show their ability to push the frontiers of sonics and sound, and the most radical song on Spirit, I feel, is Scum, and yeah, I do like that track actually. Right. Isidore says, it's high time you reveal your darkest secret, Vaughn. How old are you really? I'm over 21. Old enough to drive, old enough to vote, old enough to drink. Tony Duncan, hey hey. Hello Tony. Don't you sleep, man. Sean Kennedy, hello Sean, how are you, mate? Sean, me old mucker. What are you up to, Sean? Sean's another one of the super duper geeks who's always always in the studio. Check him out. He's on Instagram. He's also on in the Vaughn George group, and he's my kind of geek. He's always in the studio, and he's always rocking out, and he's really quirky, but deep down beneath the surface beats a real big heart. And one hell of a mix engineer if you want to. If you're looking for someone to help you with your record, he did mix My Angel, by the way, which he did a fantastic job. Thank you, Sean. Allegra Cramp, it means fashion dispatch. Yes, that's what Depeche Mode means, fashion dispatch. I've heard that before, but then I've had other French people that use different translations, but fashion dispatch, they could call it dispatch mode, couldn't they? Dispatch mode. Atlanta says, a notification about fashion. Oh, okay, you're also responding to what Depeche Mode means. Oh, Allegra Cramp says, I live in France. Bonjour. Okay, so you would know. Here's the thing, guys. Here's an observation. Here's a little exercise. If you know anyone who's French, if you have a friend, or ask them what does Depeche Mode mean, and see what they say. Fashion dispatch is something that's come up a lot. I've heard that a lot, but other people have used different ways to explain it. Anna V.A. says, you've just reminded me of a summer in Spain in '95. 90s dance music was the best. 90s dance music was the best, and there is something about it. It's just the way it sort of organically came together. You know, dance music really is a progression from, you know, electro pop or electronic pop music, where you're using the same instruments, you're using synthesizers, but in the 90s, vocals just became redundant. It was all about the music and the sound. But yeah, I'm looking forward to talking more about 90s dance on the channel. And the reason I'm so big on 90s dances is because 90s dance kind of spawned and kind of paved the way for modern dance music, just as you know, people like Depeche Mode and you know, Soft Cell and those guys sort of paved the way for modern synthesizer pop. You know, yeah, Depeche Mode synthesizer pop. It was synthesizer pop in the beginning, but those guys back then paved the way. And in the 90s, the guys that were around there, you know, Orbital, the Chemical Brothers, well, I suppose Orbital and the Chemical Brothers are more what they call, and Fatboy Slim are more what they call intelligent dance music. You know, it's not the you know, because you got a lot about that stuff, like the stuff like, and if you know Gunther, deep in the night, I am looking for some fun. That really dreadful kind of Euro trash kind of stuff. But yeah, 90s dance. 90s was the decade that defined dance, and it is the decade that people will always go back and always revisit it, because you can't top it, man. Right. Dragon of Sound says it means the opposite of what Depeche Mode's music is. You're right. The name actually is in contrast of what the fast fashion, because it's not. Yeah, it's definitely not mainstream, is it? Atlanta says, or dispatch about fashion. Okay, we're still discussing the meaning of the word Depeche Mode. Isidore says, I'm French. Depeche Mode doesn't mean anything really, and it's wrong grammatically. Yes, there we go. That is something I've heard from a French friend of mine as well. I mean, I've asked quite a few people what it means, and some people have said fashion dispatch, but a lot of people usually go, it doesn't mean anything, and then they go, oh, maybe it means this, maybe it means this. That's a good subject. What does Depeche Mode mean? French people, please explain. Funny enough, talking about French people, the French are very, very, very passionate about Depeche Mode. Apparently, the French Depeche Mode fans are the most brutal when it comes to support acts. So if you are a support act supporting Depeche Mode on a world tour, when they play in France, you probably don't want to support Depeche Mode in a French city or town, because the French are known to be very brutal towards support acts. When they come to see Depeche Mode, they don't want to see anyone else, they just want to see Depeche Mode. And I've heard stories of support acts getting bottled and booed and having to just get off the stage. Let's have a look here. Isidore, coming on again, she goes, it's basically two words. Depeche means to hurry and mode means fashion. The best translation is hurry fashion, which is wrong grammatically. You see? There we got hurry fashion, fashion dispatch. Wonderful. It's a fascinating question. Even in French, it's really weird, you say, yeah. Allegra Cramp says, una Depeche, Isidore, a Depeche. Depeche. Dispatch, sorry. Dispatch mode. Black Energy Keeper says, Anna VA, now we have terrible reaction music here. Atlanta, the name is responding to Isidore Mabuma and says, the name is taken from a French fashion magazine. Depeche means dispatch in English, so it does have a meaning. So it's dispatch fashion. Oh, when you dispatch fashion, you're putting fashion out. That's the best. Fashion dispatch or dispatch fashion. You're dispatching fashion. Wow, mind blowing. We're still discussing that. Isidore says, oh yeah, in Old French, a Depeche is a news report. Yes. Here we go. It's just getting deeper and deeper. French is a very complex language, I know as well. What happened? Are we still live? I seem to have lost my YouTube here. Bear with me, guys. I don't know if we're on. Let me just try again. Let's just see. Okay, I'm just starting up my YouTube's gone. I don't know if I'm still here. And I've got no way of seeing your comments because my YouTube has just disappeared. Bear with me. Alright, let's try this again. Okay. Houston, we have a problem. Okay, I've got no idea if I'm still on, so I'm trying to restart it now. This has never happened before. Let's reopen it. Oh dear. Where were we now? Okay, I don't know if you guys have been there all along, or because my YouTube just dropped out. I don't know if that means you can still see me or not, but it's not working now. I don't know why. And let's try it again. Ah, this is embarrassing. Let's try it again. If you're still there, I'm just trying to get it up and going. No, I'm gonna have to restart. Sorry guys. Oh, it's come back now. I don't know what's happened. My YouTube's just disappeared and I can't get it up again. Can't get it up again. Ah, dear. Oh, thank you, Sean. Great, that's great. Sean has just sent me a text, Mr. Sean Kennedy. He said, Vaughn, you're still broadcasting, just carry on. Thank you, Sean. It's a good thing I didn't sort of like go, ugh. But yeah, I don't know what happened. My YouTube just seems to have crashed, but Sean Kennedy's just texted me now and said we're still on. So thank you, Sean. So what we're talking about, I'll just try and sort of get it up and running while we're talking. At least I know you guys are there. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, the Depeche Mode name has got so many different interpretations. But as I say, I can't really answer any of your questions now until I get my YouTube up and running. We seem to have a bit of luck here. No, it's gone again. Don't worry. So while I'm just trying to get it up and running again, watch me. I'm a man and I'm trying to multitask. Wish me luck. This is one thing where the female brain is just so incredible. Just the female brain, the ability to multitask and be efficient. We men can multitask, but we think we are, but we're not really. So anyway, so while I'm getting my YouTube up and running, I will just repeat what I'm doing this live stream about today, and that is tomorrow at 7 p.m. UK time. We're having a live Zoom Q&A here on the Vaughn George channel. We've got Gareth Jones here, and he's going to answer all your questions, or any questions you've got regarding anything you want to ask him about his career, his music, or any band he's worked with. And he's really an interesting guy, I can promise you. He's like, you know, he's obviously, Gareth is 67 now. You wouldn't say so. He's, you know, he's really, you know, energized and healthy and like really switched on. He's got so much energy, but he's got so much knowledge and wisdom, and he's really passionate. So for you guys to come on here and ask him some questions, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Just to hear what he has to say, because you know he's such a incredible producer. Right, I think we got some luck here now, so I do apologize about that, guys. as I say, these live streams are just sort of like, come on. They're not really, you know, sort of planned or scripted or anything like that. Right, let's see on some of the questions that I've missed out on here. Here's a comment here from Andreas B. Best wishes from Lithuania, Vilnius. From Lithuania, I can impress you. Labas, kiptu. Labas, kiptu. I'm saying hello. Labas is hello, and kiptu is how are you, I think. I had a Lithuanian girlfriend once. Yes. Back in my days of restaurant management. Beautiful girl. Beautiful woman. Right. Isidore says Miranda Sex Garden. What? Miranda Sex Garden is an awesome band. Okay. The girlfriend of Alan at the time. Okay. Neil Gregory. Just called in Vaughn as to work. Do you think any chance of an Alan Wilder interview? Man, if I had a penny for every time someone asked me that. You know, as I said before many times, I do have a way to contact Alan because, you know, through people I know. But it is something I wish to do. I believe we will do it one day. But it needs consideration. You know, it's I just get, especially when someone like Alan Wilder, who's been out of the public eye for so long, you don't just really like jump on him, because I always got the idea that he's not an attention seeker, unlike the world today where there are so many attention seekers. He's a very private kind of person, and I think it's going to make it even harder, the fact that he's not in the music industry anymore. So for me to go and approach him, I put it this way: if Gareth decides to get back into music, if Alan decides to get back into music again, which he hopefully will, I believe he will, hopefully. If he does, then he's got something to promote, and then it'll be easier for me to talk to him or to interview him. But for me to just get in touch with him now, it'll be very challenging for him to, you know, it'll be very hard to get an interview with him at this stage. But never say never, never say never. Right, Atlanta says Roik supported Depeche Mode 2006 and they got slack from the audience. Oh right, so Roik, yeah, because they're great, aren't they? They supported Depeche Mode in 2006. Was that in France? If so, I have heard that the French are so passionate about Depeche Mode that when they go to see Depeche Mode, they don't want to see anyone else. So just don't even come onto the stage. Right, let's have a go. Roiksop are awesome, yeah. I am a die-hard Depeche Mode fan, and even I don't understand why a lot of fans are that hostile, live and let live. I agree with that. You know, it's like I personally, you know, I hate dicks. I really hate dicks. I hate idiots. I hate bullies. I hate wankers. I think we all do. And yeah, I don't want to go on a tangent, but I think, you know, just show a bit of respect. I mean, if someone's, you know, up there doing what they're doing, and, you know, why would you? I just can't. The joy that some people get out of violence and stuff, it escapes me. Or you know, just being a dick. You know, it's like, oh, get off the fucking stage. Don't be an arsehole. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Yeah. Do you like the movie 24-Hour Party People? Yes, I do like 24-Hour Party People. It's a great movie. It's one of those classics, isn't it? Depeche Rob says, Alan is my favorite DM member for sure. I think you're in good company here. Yes. Here's the one. Roiksop should produce the next Depeche Mode album. Interesting. Yeah, that is a discussion that's come up a lot on my Facebook group. Is who is going to, you know, who's going to produce the next Depeche Mode album, and I've often asked the question, who do you think should produce the next Depeche Mode album? And it's like the last James Ford. You know, he's not a Depeche Mode fan. And then the question I've often asked is, or sorry, I'm not saying he's not a Depeche Mode fan, but there are those producers out there who are like really big Depeche Mode fans. And the question I asked was, you know, do you think it's better to be produced by someone who is a fan or someone who's not? Because if someone's not a fan, they're going to probably think more out the box. Whereas if it was someone like me, oh, God forbid I produced Depeche Mode, but if it was someone like me, I really understand the sort of Depeche Mode philosophy as to what I believe they should sound like. And that's probably a bad thing right there, because that would put some level of restriction on them. However, at the same time, it could be a very good measure of quality control, because it would be sort of like a measure to prevent them from going off on a tangent. But it's a good question, you know, should a Depeche Mode producer be a fan, or should he just be a neutral producer? Okay, so I'm just trying to, as I say, since my YouTube crashed out here, it's never happened before. I'm just trying to find, sorry if I missed your question here. Andreas B, oh yes, Labas, yeah, he's, you're reacting to my Lithuanian, my knowledge of Lithuanian. I always like to be able to ramble off a few sentences in different languages. It makes you feel like an international man. I had a French girlfriend as well once, and I could ramble off a few sentences. But the French are very unforgiving. And that is, you know, French is such a complex language. It's very difficult to learn. You know, like, it's a Latin language, but like Spanish and Italian, they're a lot easier to learn. French is very, very difficult because it's not phonetic. So the way it's written is not the way you say it. Like, for instance, merci beaucoup. It's written M-E-C-R-I, merci beaucoup. It's not phonetic. And also, I've always found with French people is they're not forgiving. If you say something, if you don't pronounce it properly, they won't necessarily understand you. So this is why I found French to be a very difficult language to learn. Although I do think it's a very beautiful language, and I admire people who can speak it fluently. It's just, it is one of the languages that just sounds, especially on a woman. Oh, when a woman speaks French, it's just like, ooh. Cut! Right, where are we? We go. Next one is Neil Gregory says, would be fantastic, mate. Maybe a Q&A via email would be great. I don't know if, Neil, I don't know if you're referring to the Gareth Jones Q&A. Will Warren, is there any news of a new Depeche Mode album? Gareth should produce them again. Oh, well, I've said this before on my channel. I would love to be given the role of the of executive producer, and what I mean by that is an executive producer is someone that doesn't necessarily do hands-on, but he's kind of like an orchestrator. And if I was an executive producer of the new Depeche Mode album, executive producer usually means you have the privilege of being able to choose who you work with. So if I was, hypothetically, this would be a good topic for a video. If I was to be announced as the executive producer of the new Depeche Mode album, I would get in Gareth Jones to do the production, I'd get in Brian Griffin to do the album cover, and I would bring in Peter Kerr to do the music video. Peter Kerr, who did Stripped, Shake the Disease, and It's Called a Heart. Great music videos he did. So that would be my team. I'd bring in Gareth Jones to do the production, Brian Griffin to do the artwork, photos, and Peter Kerr to do the music videos. And I can't think about a better team. Or I suppose there's Flood, but I know Gareth and I know Brian, so I'd recommend them. I think a lot of people have said that the Gareth Jones trilogy, or the Berlin trilogy as Gareth calls it, a lot of people have said that that was like their favorite period. Alright, let's get another question here. Nets GR, greetings from Greece. Hello to you. I followed Depeche Mode from the beginning. I can say the band is not so sparkling in the studio LPs as in concerts. I believe this age at almost 60. Yeah, I think what you're saying is they, yeah, Depeche, I think you're saying is that they are outstanding live. And this is true because a lot of bands are not live bands. You know, some bands sound better in a studio. They don't sound that great live. I mean, I'll give you an example here, and I don't want to pick on them, but I love MGMT. MGMT. I'm feeling rough, I'm feeling rough, this is the time of my life. Oh, I'm just getting a text now. Oh, this is names dropping now. Gareth just texted me, he wants to talk about tomorrow, so I'm going to probably have to cut this off quickly. Just coming back to what I was talking about on the MGMT. They are a typical band to me. They're a two-piece. They are exceptional on the studio, like you know their songs, but when you see them live, it just lacks something. They just don't have that impact live as what they do in the studios. But Depeche Mode, I agree with you. Depeche Mode have often been recognized as an outstanding live act, and it's Dave Vaughn. I have a lot of respect for him because he really carries the shows. He really does. Right, okay guys, I'm going to have to cut it now because I need to take that call from Mr. Jones. So, just to recap, tomorrow, 7 p.m, here on the Vaughn George channel, Gareth will be here to answer all your questions. Get onto that call early, guys. It's going to break my heart to see 100 and see the people that can't get in. But if there is enough interest in this, I'm sure we can do it again sometime, depending on Gareth. But it's going to be fun. So make sure you're on there. 7 p.m. tomorrow. Get there early. And that's it. I'm a little bit distracted now, guys, so I'm going to go now. I've got to take this call. But all the information is here. So sorry to cut this off. I want to thank you all, as always, for being here. And there seems to be a lot of interest in these kind of live streams. If you want to join my Patreon page and support the channel, you have the chance to do live Zoom chats with me and the community there. But if not, I will look at doing some more live streams on YouTube. Okay, my friends, wishing you all lots of love, and I will see you. I hope to see as many of you as possible tomorrow on the Zoom chat. And if you can't, once we reach the capacity, it'll be streamed here onto YouTube. Thank you, guys. Have a good evening, afternoon, or day.